The series of meetings are scheduled at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg, which is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's official residence. That will start at 11 a.m. What we've been told is that it will be a second round of the Cabinet Committee on Security meeting, which is a body which is responsible for the national security, a very important body which took several decisions post the Pahalgam terror attack. Prime Minister chaired that as well, and key decisions were taken to corner and isolate Pakistan diplomatically. It is after the CCPA that will be again chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now this CCPA last met in 2019. CCPA also dubbed as Super Cabinet, which has the power of taking decisions politically as well as economically. And I remember in 2019 when the CCPA last met, they took a decision to withdraw Pakistan from the list of most trusted nation, and it was post that we saw the airstrikes by the Indian Air Forces in the regions of Jammu and Kashmir. Followed by that, it is the CCEA, which is the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, that will also be chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and post that it would be a cabinet meeting. So 4 meetings back to back that are lined up at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg at Prime Minister's residence. But if we look at the last 1 week, there are multiple meetings which were strategic in nature. There were multiple briefings that were given to Prime Minister, Home Minister, Defence Minister by several of the organizations, the security agencies who are involved in the security of Jammu and Kashmir. Remember, for the last 6 days, as there has been continuous ceasefire violation. Yesterday we saw how the 3 service chiefs along with the NSA, the CDS and the Defence Minister briefed Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the sources in the Prime Minister's office stated that Prime Minister had given full freedom to Indian armed forces, and also stated that he has full faith and confidence in the professional abilities of the Indian armed forces. These are smaller steps to a bigger response that India can give, and therefore the reason perhaps if we go by the words of what has come out from the Prime Minister's office is about the more target and the timing of the attack. It is of course all leading to one direction, but at what time and what place is something that remains to be seen. As I also mentioned that yesterday this meeting happened at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. Post that, it was RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat who met Prime Minister Narendra Modi at his residence for 1.5 hours as well. The government is in a view that all important organizations of the country should be on board regarding the actions that India is taking against Pakistan. But these are very, very sensitive issues, strategic in nature. The top bodies have to decide as to how India will retaliate, at what time, what place, and therefore the reason perhaps a very, very crucial cabinet meeting and a first of its sort after the Pahalgam terror attack. Cabinet has been called, but CCPA,
right,
one of the major body also being chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. We'll have to see
set to
that
take
if
place
some more decisions will be taken
to
by
come
Prime
up
Minister
with the
Narendra Modi
strategy
today.
as far as India's action is concerned. Thank you for those details. I'd also like to thank Kashi Varoor and Nazir Masoodi, who's joining us from Kashmir. Of course, the LOC violations continuing there in Kashmir. And now let's go to Sunil. Sunil, you're reporting from Delhi. You've been part of, in fact, you've been reporting on meetings, both as far as the all-party meeting is concerned, or both the government meetings as well as reactions from the opposition. Prime Minister, of course, expressing complete faith and confidence in the abilities of Indian Armed Forces. He said they have complete operational freedom. Although there is a unified voice as far as fight against terrorism is concerned, there is a lot of politics also playing out. So largely, what is the sense, Sunil, you're getting, and how unified are all the parties at this point?
I think the essence of that is the bipartisan support and the carte blanche that they gave to the complete, political establishment in taking whatever steps at that all-party meeting. So I think that's the first step, a very significant step from political parties. For example, the main opposition party, the Congress, has very categorically stated that those who are speaking out of turn are unacceptable. The Congress Working Committee has given a resolution. The 2 leaders of opposition in the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha have spoken, have represented the party in the all-party meeting, and have told various members of the Congress party be it Minister Shankar Rao or Shashi Tharoor or the Karnataka Chief Minister, not to speak out of turn because they don't want an embarrassing situation. And I think across political parties, from all opposition parties too, there is that bipartisan support to support the government in whatever step it takes for the full justice for those victims, as well as their families to get the full justice. And I think that's, in the sense, an important part. On the cabinet, of course, as we've been pointing out, very, very important steps being taken. What will definitely be done is, firstly, of course, the Prime Minister himself has given a clearance to the armed forces. So they're not going to discuss strategy or what exactly is going to happen and when. What's important now is to look at the state of preparedness. How do you take things forward? What is the way forward in terms of various other issues? And of course, a number of other important cabinet decisions which have been pending because the Prime Minister was away the last week and then the aftermath of the Pahalgam attacks didn't allow a cabinet meeting last week. So it will be in that backdrop that, the full cabinet will be meeting to take stock of a series of government measures and proposals that have been put on the table.
Right, Sunil, this really comes on the heels of, meetings being held also across the border. We're talking about the Pakistan minister there holding a meeting at 2 o'clock in the morning, saying that he had information, concrete information in regard to India striking. This is India going to launch a military operation, and that is why a meeting was held at 2 o'clock in the morning on the across the border in Pakistan as well. Take us through the preparedness that we are seeing, back-to-back meetings that are taking place. The government there, of course, the Prime Minister backing the armed forces and giving them the free will, the free hand to decide the targets, the timing, and also the mode and the tactics.
So there is a very important point that you raise about what the Pak Information Minister, and he's trying to speak to the world to try to internationalize the issue. India, on its part, has always held it to be bilateral, and it's in that backdrop that our foreign minister, as well as our Ministry of External Affairs, have been working the phone and speaking to their various counterparts across the world to explain to them that terrorism in all its forms have to be and completely condemned, and that the masterminds have come from Pakistan. So it's in that backdrop that India continues to make that political as well as external affairs and diplomatic efforts to say that Pakistan is a state and should be isolated in terms of supporting terror. And it's in that backdrop that, we have seen those the ways in which many, for example, Pakistan and other countries have realized that you cannot afford to take any chances with India when it comes in its fight against terror. This, of course, as you're well aware, Pahalgam, is the worst after 26/11/2008. It's in that backdrop that India continues to mourn the loss of these innocent lives, tourists who were unarmed and became victims for no reason. It's in that context that India seeks to avenge and ensure that they get full justice for what has happened.
Right. Thank you so much, Sunil and Aishwarya, for joining us with all those details. We will keep coming back to you in the course of the day.